How does stress impact sexual health and desire?
Stress is mostly, there's two kinds of stress we can talk about to be very simple. We've got eustress, which is a good stress, things like training, going out and running in the park, for example. We're stressing our body to create change, and our body will lift its game to try and deal with that stress. So we get positive effects from exercise. We all know that. Then you've got distress, which is where stress becomes too much, overbearing, and we're not able to cope with it. And that could be like financial, emotional, that kind of stuff. So the distress part is where we're not recovering from the stimulus, and we're also now creating cortisol, which is a hormone which then changes the way our internal body works. That tends to be a negative hormone which brings down levels of testosterone. So testosterone is super important for brain function, libido, sexual desire, and for guys' ability to maintain an erection, that kind of stuff. Not the only thing, but it's part of the picture. So if we make sure we can lower our levels of distress, so we can manage our stress levels better, we can not lose our mind when we drive to work and get stuck in traffic, the boss hasn't annoyed us, or we're not having trouble at home, we can deal with that in a more effective way, work on our triggers, have better perception of how we can stay calm. It means we're going to spend more time in the eustress area, where we can develop a much better response to exercise and foods and other environments, which is going to bolster our levels of testosterone. We also know that, for example, when we're put into a position where if we go to the gym, for example, and train with a really attractive female, men's testosterone levels are way higher. So it's so interesting. So if we're in a place where we find that person attractive, we're more likely to have a response hormonally. So, and the same is kind of true for females as well, because females also have testosterone too. So we want to make sure that we keep our levels of stress down, so cortisol level is down, and we also then keep our levels of testosterone in the right place and keep it relatively high. And then we're going to have a much better chance of having a better sexual desire, better libido, move forward in the right way.